Okay, I'm going to do a little quick tutorial on how to cut body tubes. Body tubes are pretty cheap depending on where you buy them. Obviously, if you want to scratch build your own rockets, you need to be able to cut these to length. And I've been doing this for a few years. So first thing I do is I just take a piece of any sort of paper. Cardstock usually works a little better. And the idea is I need to make a guide. Goes around. So first thing is you don't want it to be offset. You want it to be nice and flush. So a couple wraps works. If you use something thicker like cardstock, one wrap is sufficient. But once you get it wrapped around nice and tight, take a piece of tape, and this becomes your guide. Now you can see that this slides. You don't want that. So in this case, get another piece of tape. Now in this case I'm just going to cut it about halfway. Put the tape on the back. So now this gives you a slight shelf, a little edge to guide your blade. The next thing you want is you want a brand new X-Acto knife, as sharp as you can get it. Now this is the part that is a little tricky. You start by holding the blade right against the edge, and you want to just barely scratch it. So the first time you go through, you're basically just barely scratching the surface. Now one thing that's important is if you tilt the blade into the guide, you'll cut into the guide and that won't be good. So you need to tilt it slightly away, but since you're putting such a gentle amount of pressure on it, it's just going into the tube. Okay, so once you take a few more passes, usually takes about 3 full rotations or more, put a little bit more pressure, and each time, of course, the groove from the prior rotation is serving as a guide for this next one. And there you have it. So that should give you really a perfect edge, but you can see there's just a little bit of, see a little fluff on there. That's where you take a piece of sandpaper. Now this is 100 grit, which is probably a little more than you need. 220 is probably about the grit for this sort of thing. But you just give it a quick. Let's see. This is 220. So all right. So it's a little dark here over by the camera. Perhaps you can see better here. So that gives you a nice smooth edge. That's it. Thanks for watching.